call to order our public hearing meeting. Roll call.
Verna.
Here.
John.
Here.
Jan. Here. Myself here. Kay.
Here.
Cheryl.
Here.
All good.
And we have, that I know of, one change to the agenda. Number 5, it should say resolution to approve cost center budget and certify tax levy. Did anybody have any other changes? Okay. We need a motion then, since we made a change to the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as changed.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. And we will move on to call to audience. We have a very large audience tonight.
Yes, can we limit your shares to 3 minutes, please?
Okay. No discussion from the audience, and we will move on to our resolution. You received the 4029, which shows all of our millage. And then the line item budget, just to back up the cost center budget that we'll actually be approving as part of the meeting tonight. So if you would like, we will approve the cost center budget first, and then we will go on to our resolution. Anybody have any changes, questions, concerns about the budget?
So this draft that we got today is,
Yes, there was a
Correct.
correction to the proposed property taxes for 2026. We had the full amount in there instead of the 90%.
okay.
Okay, being as there is no discussion, entertain a motion to approve the 2026 cost center budget.
I'll second.
Do I need a motion?
Oh, we need a motion.
Sorry.
I'll second it, John.
You made the motion, your second.
Second.
We'll need a roll call on there.
Verna.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Jan.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Kay.
Yes.
And Cheryl.
Yes. Okay, now we will go on to our resolution approving the budget and the tax levy. And can we have the secretary please read the resolution?
Yeah, where is it?
Keep going. Page 10.
Oh, yeah, that big long thing, I remember. I remember now. I remember now. The whole thing?
Yep.
At a public hearing of the Board of Trustees of the Brandon Township Public Library, County of Oakland, State of Michigan, held in the community room at the library on the 26th day of August 2025 at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Present, all trustees, absent, no one's absent. The following preamble and resolution were offered by trustee.
And we'll do that after the.
Okay, and supported by trustee. Whereas in accordance to the Truth in Budgeting Act, there has been presented to the Board of Trustees of the Brandon Township Public Library, the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2026, and whereas a public hearing on the budget has been held in accordance with the provisions of Act 43 of 1963, as amended after notice of the hearing was duly given, and whereas the notice of the hearing on the budget included the following statement printed in 11-point boldface type. The property tax millage rate proposed to be levied to support the proposed budget to be the subject of this hearing. Now therefore, be it resolved that the library board hereby approves and adopts the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2026 on file with the secretary of the board and for the purpose of providing library service to the residents of the township. Number 2, the library board hereby ratifies and confirms the actions of the library director in completing the notice of hearing and arranging for the publication thereof in Ortonville, Michigan. The notice of hearing in the form published in the Citizen is hereby ratified and confirmed. Number 3, the library board hereby approves and adopts the proposed tax levy for the fiscal year 2025 on file with the Secretary of the Board, and hereby determines that 1.8659 mills shall be levied in the Brandon Township Public Library District for the fiscal year 2026 for the purpose of providing library funds for the operation of the library. Number 4, the Secretary of the Board is authorized and directed to submit this resolution in a tax rate request form L4029 to the supervisor of Brandon Charter Township, the County of Oakland, the clerk of Brandon Charter Township, the County of Oakland, and to the County Equalization Department of the County of Oakland. And number 5, all resolutions, parts of resolutions insofar as a conflict with the provisions of this resolution are, and the same hereby rescinded. Ayes, nays.
That's all you have, yeah. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Can I say so moved?
Yes?
Okay.
And a second?
No second?
A second?
Verna.
Oh.
And can we have a roll call on this resolution, please?
Verna?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Kay?
Yes.
And Cheryl.
Yes. And the resolution has been approved. Is there anything else to come in front of the board? Then we will be adjourned till our next meeting, and we are being adjourned at 4:52. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Verna? Here. John?
Here.
Jan?
Here.
Kay?
Here.
I'm here, and Cheryl?
Here.
All present.
And we have one change that I know of on the agenda. We'll add a 10.3 for the 100th anniversary committee. It's now a consistent committee. And does anybody else have any changes, corrections on the agenda? Okay, can I have a motion to approve it as amended?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved, and we will on to the minutes. Anybody have any changes, corrections to the minutes?
I had one question. Page 5, 13.6. Says the library director job description, but then it seems to be referring to assistant director.
Well, we had talked about, if you see 13.4, 5, and 6 were separate items, but we approved them all together. Look at 13.4 was
Okay.
assistant, circulation assistant, and then library director. Those were 3 different descriptions that we looked at last week, or last meeting, but we approved them all at one time. So that's why the motion is just under 13.6.
Oh, okay, I get it.
I move to approve the new job descriptions. So then all 3 are listed.
Yeah. But that's what happened.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
I'm
Minutes
Yep.
stand approved. On to call to audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment on any of our agenda items? Okay. Director's report.
Well, you have a written report. The positions that were approved last month have been filled. Alyssa is now our assistant director. Taylor is our new full-time librarian, and Michael is our new full-time circulation assistant, who is also responsible for the shelving and maintaining the collection. They all started those positions as of the first of the month, first week of the month, and they're all doing great. Let's try it there. Summer reading was great, 667 registrations. That's the highest that I can see back. The farthest back I can see for numbers is 2016, and that's the highest we've had at least since 2016, probably more than that. We gave 160 boxes of crayons to that, and it was really neat. We had a patron donate 100 boxes to go with the ones that we had purchased. So, and then Fran donated some too. So that was a really nice thing to be able to do. I really like the community goals that we do. We started our 100th celebration planning. I'm sure Jan and Kay will talk about that later. I'm excited with the ideas that the group is coming up with. Just a little sneak peek. They're talking about doing like a speakeasy night here at the library, and family fun day, and a couple of other listening events. Harold Ibo is doing research for us on the history of the library and some other presentations. So we're on our way. Very excited. We had an all-staff meeting last week to go over the statistics from summer reading, and you all got copies of that. But the numbers were really good this year. We had 1,948 people attend our summer reading programs. We had 448 reading logs turned in. Last year we had 242, so it's quite a big increase. Last year they could only turn in one. This year we said we could turn in as many as you like. So that's why that number is so much higher. So everything went very well. What they liked the most about the summer reading program was the reading, which is nice. What would you change the most? 48% said nothing. So that's a success to me. That's pretty much there. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I have one question. The grant that we got that we're going to use for the ADA doors, when does that have to be spent by?
April.
Okay.
I guess I can say it now, just because it's your report, but Kay and I were at FOL, and Kay gave a report, and then Tom, I added to it, and Tom asked me afterwards if I could report on it every month. I said, well, Laura is the chairman, and she'll report on it every month. So he said that would work for her. Yeah. 100th celebration and committee work.
Okay.
Did I misspeak? I didn't misspeak, but you are the chairperson?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, on to trustee reports. Kay, did you have anything?
This finished August 5th, attended the 100th anniversary committee. And again, I liked it too because I want to add another E to our empower, engage, educate. That's entertain. We thought rather than the focus being fundraising, etc., it was going to be more how can we entertain across the group so that we can engage. So, and the 20s, since 1920s, and speakeasy, and involving some local people from there, the wineries and like that. So that was nice. That was the anniversary. Okay. I attended FOL on August 4th. No, 11th. I'm sorry. August 11th. As a result, Jane and I brought 2 boxes of books. But at least I collected children's books. I know that one person at FOL, I don't remember what, but anyway, say that they really, children's books go well. So anyways, we went back to our library, started filling up some boxes. And then on August 19th, a policy committee meeting, so that's it.
Kelly?
I had the pleasure of attending the 100th anniversary gala for the Oxford Public Library. And it was very nice. I thought dinner was very well. I thought the venue that they had it in was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure I agree with how the room was set up, but, you know, I'm not a decorator. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't so much about the library, the history and celebrating the library, but more of a fundraising event. But I'd never been to a gala before, so I don't know if I'm on base or off base with how I interpreted that. But it was a very nice evening, and it was really interesting to see the difference and see the changes. And for 100 years, Oxford's only had 5 directors, so that's pretty cool too. So,
How many
Thank
years
you.
has Brian been?
Maybe 20 years next year. I
Oh.
think. Mhm. Their first library director was like 42 years,
Whoa.
which is a really long time.
When you talk about fundraising, we would also share that with Jay later, that some of those items would want to be us.
oh yeah, yes, it was very top of the line fundraising.
So they had an auction going.
They had a silent auction that was more pocket friendly for the little folks like me. And then they did have a live auction where they auctioned off some wine and the marbled tiles and a couple of trips. And baseball signed by Alan Trammell and some various other things that they auctioned off. But all the money was going to an endowment fund for the library.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and say this, but it was shared with me by an anonymous person that the high-end items were, it was assumed that their board of trustees would purchase them. So be aware.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, Jen?
Nothing.
Vernon? Okay, we will move on to financial officer report. Jen?
Okay, first up is the check register. Everything, from what I can see, is all pretty standard monthly expenses. It's anything out of the ordinary. Does anyone have any comments, questions on the check register? All right, then we will move to the balance sheet, which is pretty much the same thing. No significant changes from last month. Any questions, comments on the balance sheet? Okay. The income statements. There are a couple of things I would point out. Well, on the income side, we received penal fines from, some of us come from the state, almost $23,000 compared to a budget of 15, so that's very nice. And then the FOL additional contribution was recorded last month, an additional $9,000 was donated by the FOL. And all the expenses seem to be in line with where they should be, tracking to budget. Do the quick math as to how far we are into the month, I think, or into the year. I think we're on track. Any questions, comments on the income statement? All right, can we get a motion to approve the expenses?
I move to approve the July 2025 expenses of $76,281.40.
I'll second.
May we roll call on that, please?
Verna?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Me, yes. Kay?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Okay, and we also have a budget amendment for approval, and that is to move $115,000 from contingency vacancies to facilities for the HVAC rooftop units. They are getting, I believe they've been received by the installer and will be scheduled to be installed soon, so we thought we would want to.
We also have the 2,000.
Oh, yes, sorry about that. And that was for a grant for science kits that we received for $2,000. So we're creating the income and the expense line items.
Anybody have any questions, concerns? Entertain a motion for the approval of the amendments.
I move to approve the budget amendments as stated.
Second, Verna? And can we have a roll call there?
Irma?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Kay?
Yes.
And Cheryl.
Yes. Okay. Committee reports, and we will start with policies.
So we have a few policies, well, a couple job descriptions of the librarian, library associate job descriptions. We just needed to change the title of the person that these people are reporting to. So they're no longer reporting to the public services manager, they're reporting to the assistant director. So it's a pretty simple change. And that's all that was changed. Librarian and library associate job description.
Can I have a motion to approve those descriptions?
I have one question.
Okay.
In both of the documents, we say flexible schedule, including nights and weekends. I wonder if evenings would be more appropriate. Nights kind of indicate that it might end up being a 24-hour.
Where is that, Verna?
Okay, it's two places. On page 16, essential knowledge, skills, and abilities, number 6.
The problem is we've used that terminology on all of the descriptions.
Oh, have we? Okay, I was sorry.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah, but next time we go through all of them, we'll pick it up.
You'll remember that, right?
Sure. Okay, do we have a motion to approve these two job descriptions?
I move that we approve the librarian and the library associate job descriptions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? They stand approved. Okay. Volunteer policy.
Volunteer policy, it's the same thing. The number one, under regulations, we changed public service manager to assistant director. And then there was one small change in number 3, governed by their own policies. Before it just said governed by their policies. And instead, that's it. Easy ones.
Any questions, changes? Okay, can we have a motion to approve the volunteer policy as presented?
I move to approve volunteer policy as presented.
I second
Okay, Jan, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stands approved. Okay. Position and standards policy.
Okay. Positions and standards policy actually needed to be updated for now, but that's okay. I'm glad it wasn't, because we just had to change it. So we added the position of assistant director. The public services manager, implementation manager is still in here because we do still have board-approved job descriptions for those positions. We don't have those positions filled right now, but we do still have job descriptions, so I thought they should stay in the list. And then the only department manager we have right now is the circulation manager. And then the library assistant was changed to circulation assistant last year. So just some cleaning up of that policy.
Any questions? Okay. And I make motion to approve the positions and standards policy as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, Kelly? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stands approved.
I promise this is going to get a little more exciting. I'm pretty boring up to this point.
That's okay. Boring is okay.
The next one is the request for reconsideration, just the form itself. So this is if somebody has an issue with one of the materials or programs that we present, that they can fill this out. The only change on this, again, is previously this, if somebody fills this out, it went to the public services manager. I think in the climate that we're in these days, I think they should come straight to me. So I did change that to the library director instead of public services manager. And that's the only change.
Should we look at the whole reconsideration policy too, before we approve this one?
I had them separate on the agenda, just because the reconsideration of library materials and programs policy, there's a lot more changes. So
Okay.
that one is a first read.
And that was the first look,
This one, yeah, I didn't have that one as a
Okay.
action item, so.
And I will entertain a motion to approve the request for reconsideration form.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
You good with that?
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Stands approved, and we will now move on to
The reconsideration of library materials and programs policy, there's quite a few changes here. And this is a first read. I think this one, once the board has any changes, it probably should go to the attorney before it becomes an action item. So the policy committee, we went through it, got rid of some extra wording that was in there that we didn't feel was needed, and just cleaned it up a little bit. But and changed from public service manager to director that the reports would go to. So not a lot of changes, but enough.
Anybody have any additional changes, concerns?
But it will go to the attorney before we see it.
Yes. I had one that I thought, and it's in the second paragraph on page 25, the second sentence. Well, the first sentence, but the second line. It says, library does not provide, the programs provided by the library does not constitute endorsement or approval of. I would say, I don't think I would say approval. I would say maybe agreement with, as opposed to approval.
Okay. I wonder if it even does it need more than endorsement? It's not-
I thought you were just trying to make it a little bit stronger, so.
Maybe.
So we would take out approval out of the agreement with on that.
I also found it interesting, we considered taking out Articles 1 and 2, and then it was brought to our attention, I forget by who, Laura, that we would need to refer to these articles possibly with whoever was filing a complaint, so it was perfect to have them in there. So
It gives it a little credibility.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I have a question. You changed library materials to content,
Mhm.
but it seems this content isn't defined anywhere. So the statement says patrons who object to content. But content of what?
Speaker.
The collection or program.
It says about that, no materials shall be removed from the library's collection or program discontinued. That would be the content. Is that okay?
It does say in the policy statement to represent by the materials and content.
Any other questions? We will be looking at it again.
Are you okay with that, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have something?
I
You have a wrinkled brow.
It's boiling under the surface. It just, some of this phrasing and stuff has brought to mind and I don't know what it's called, the disclaimer that you see when, I don't even know where I've seen it. I'm sure I've seen it a million times, where it's, this TV channel does not actually, support, endorse, whatever, the content. Basically saying that the opinions you heard here are their opinions, not necessarily our opinions. And it's just, and like I said, it's just kind of bubbling under the surface, so I may roll that around my head just to
Well, we'll see how what the attorney says.
yeah. It sounds more legal to be able to say, to just put in the disclaimer that says that, although we offer programs, it's not necessarily our opinion.
Does that make sense? No.
I'll think about it if you had it different way.
It's right there. It's right in the furrow of the brow.
Okay.
I just can't
Well, we'll be looking at it again, so.
read the words.
So, clarifying questions on page 26, letter E. So we're going to acknowledge the receipt of the complaint within 5 days. And is the written letter going to go within 10 days after the 5 days? Or
Yeah.
within 10 days of the receipt? Okay.
Yeah,
You went round and round.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it says the next,
Mhm.
so I
The
assume
next,
that takes it
Right.
into the, not including the 5 days.
And then down in H, the president of the library board within 10 business days after receiving the director's written letter. It makes sense, you have to read it slow.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll be looking at that again. And on to finance committee, John.
Yes, we met on August 21st. We talked about the restroom remodel. Laura received another quote. The third place declined to quote because they didn't have staff to actually do the job. So we have two. Lori is going to go back to the first company that they quoted to get a little bit more detail because they had indicated that there was probably, depending on the materials, the quality of the materials they use, the price could change, could get lower, so it might be more, closer to the second quote we got. And also to check on the timing as to, because I think originally they quoted 3 months, which the second one quoted 3 weeks, so we think maybe that was an error. So she's going to get some more information. Hopefully at the next meeting we'll have a recommendation.
So those, will the restrooms not be in operation during that 3 weeks or 3 months?
We'll have portable.
Okay.
Really?
An indoor tour? Outdoors?
Is this the staff one also? Oh.
Well, you know where we're going.
We will still have our little potty for the kids.
Oh, yeah, I've used that too.
What?
You used it when I had to take a 1-year-old in there, and she said, "What do I do?" "I'll show you."
That works.
So I'm glad I wasn't there.
I am too, and I could get down and up.
That's way too much information. Okay.
The other item that we talked about that we hasn't discussed anywhere else in the agenda is the credit and debit card update from the township. And we ran into a roadblock, so it doesn't appear to be happening with the current administration. So,
Oh, very PC, isn't Okay.
that's it.
Any questions for Jen? Okay, we'll go on to the 100th anniversary committee, who is going to report on that.
Go ahead. Chairman.
We had a great group. I sent everybody the notes from our meeting. We had representation from the MBA, from the Historical Society, from Oakland County Historical, from the library. Who else was there? It was a good group. We had lots of people. So a lot of really good ideas and a lot of very willing people to help with things, and I really stress that I think this should be a community event, not just a library event, because this is a big corporate event. So there's lots of ideas for banners and a speakeasy party and a family fun day and a new logo, swag, shirts and cups and sweatshirts and that kind of thing. So we're off to a really good start. We're going to start looking at some restaurants in the area to see about food and drinks and that kind of thing. And so it was a really good first meeting. I was very happy. Really good. Anything you want to add?
No, nothing to add. You said quite a bit. I like the idea that we're celebrating the library and the community, and we're not making it a big fundraiser. It was good. It was great.
It's going to touch the adults, children, I like that. So, a lot of good ideas. I'm excited.
And when is your next meeting?
Next Tuesday at 12:30.
First Tuesday of every month.
First Tuesday of every month at 12:30. And we'll be in this room next time.
Oh.
We're in the meeting next time. We'll be in the room from now on.
What time?
12:30.
Just a suggestion, Abigail's Pride was a huge, huge success. You might want to talk to them about some of the vendors. They have a lot of vendors out there. I don't know who they did that day, but at least, you know.
Any other comments, questions for Lauren? Okay. We had no communication this month. We have no unfinished business. And new business. Sarah?
Good evening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come back and share with you some of the things that I learned at a conference I attended a couple weeks ago. The conference was called Digipalooza, which is a big fancy name for digital services in the library, focusing specifically on downloadable content, e-books, e-audiobooks, and streaming services. During the conference, Digipalooza is such a big name, so it was kind of shortened. Everybody just called it Digipede. Digipede. So it was certainly a lot of fun. Learned a couple of interesting things. One, I am not really comfortable driving in big cities anymore. So it was.
Where were you?
We were down in Cleveland,
Oh.
and I don't know, you've got the GPS, it tells you right where to go, and it says, turn right, and then turn immediately left. And already you're off in Volleyball. But I did make it. It was a very lovely time. I did enjoy it. There were about 500 people from around the United States that came to the conference, librarians, a lot of directors, purchasers of digital materials. There were a lot of vendors also from different publishing houses that came, check out systems, interlibrary loan systems. It was really an eye-opening experience of the whole library ecosystem. So that was certainly a lot of fun. It lasted about 3 days, and there were some evening programs, but most of the sessions took place in the convention center in rather large groups. So we had speakers that talked about different things. Some of the things that they talked about were the future of digital media, which is a big thing. It's very popular. Talking content and also streaming services, trying to compete with Hoopla and Disney Plus and, things that the patrons pay for versus content that we can provide for them as a community effort. We had some sessions about promoting library services, social media campaigns, how to drive your digital users to the library to translate into actual foot traffic. And there were some interesting thoughts on how to do that. Funding was a big thing to talk about because, as we know, with Hoopla and Libby, digital services are very expensive. And you think the price of a book is $24.99 or $34.99 now, and you take a look at that same ebook, and it might be $60, it might be $103. The new Stephen King audiobook is $124 for sometimes limited access. So the prices, it's definitely a challenge. And that was one of the things that we had a couple of sessions trying to figure out what can we do, what sort of techniques can we do to get the biggest bang for our dollars. So that was very interesting. Some sessions on engaging and educating patrons. Digital services for the younger crowd, they have no problems figuring out how to download and stream and hook up to the Wi-Fi and all the things. But for some older patrons and even people who are just not secure in their usage, this was an opportunity to learn some new techniques on training and educating patrons so they're more comfortable in using these services. So that was interesting. There was a session on some upcoming features to Libby, and I don't know, are you all Libby users? You know Libby? Some of you more than others. There are some things coming, some changes. One of them was just rolled out today, which I thought was kind of interesting, very soft rollout. They're just putting the word out, and it's something called Inspire Me. And basically what this is, I'll give you the code to check it out since it's not completely live yet. It's basically using AI to give book recommendations. So it's using the power, I'm not really certain how AI does it, but if you you open up Libby, and at the bottom you see the little magnifying glass, the search bar, you would type in hashtag, capital I, inspire me. So the I is capitalized, hashtag inspire me. And that will work, all one word, yep, all one word, no spaces. And that will bring you to this new thing. It's called Inspire Me, and it says, are you looking for a fiction or a nonfiction book? Click on that button, and then it says, are you looking for an adult, a YA, or children's book? You select which one you want, and then it gives you a bunch of different prompts. You want something that's passionate or mysterious or cozy, and there's probably, 30 different prompts that you can select. You press on that one, and the little wheel spins and it thinks about it, and then it comes up with different plot themes. And you click on one that might be of interest, so it might be lighthouse keepers who disappear, whatever. And you press on that, and it will give you 5 books that take place in a lighthouse and have mysterious circumstances where the keepers disappear. Most of the time, these books that they recommend are books that you can borrow immediately. There's no holds on them. They go through the catalog and they find a book. So if you're searching for something, it's going to give you something, the title that you can check out immediately. So it's just, I have to say, it was a lot of fun to play around with. There'll be a lot more promotions for it when it actually goes live to the public. And like I say, right now it's just the soft rollout. We talked a lot about AI, artificial intelligence. You hear about it, it's out there. I don't know that it's ever going to go away. We as library workers, people who love the library, we look at AI with a great deal of suspicion because we do not want artificial intelligence to write our books, which is out there, it's a thing. We don't want artificial intelligence to read our books. We want to have voice actors who, can emote and have emotion. But the fact of the matter is, it's that can of worms has been opened, and we have to deal with it. And I think as a library board, one of the things that was mentioned many times was libraries need to have a policy for AI, and how is it going to be used in the library? Is AI going to write your policies for you? Is AI going to write your newsletter? Is AI going to design your next library cards? That was something that quite a few libraries that I talked with in roundtables, they said, we actually put together an AI policy just to clarify where we as an institution want to go with this new technology. So I thought that was really interesting. I wanted to kind of put that on maybe your future docket to think about. I don't know if we really need one here yet, but I look at Hoopla, and Hoopla unfortunately does have some questionable titles. How do we deal with that? Our patrons read them. Do we provide them if they enjoy it? Or do we kind of filter them out? So anyway, that's certainly something long-term grist for the mill, so to speak. So one of the biggest takeaways that I came back with, aside from AI and having a good time and meeting libraries from all over, the funding for digital media is pretty expensive. And I've been going through the budget and trying to figure out a way to get books in the hands of patrons. And one of the new services they rolled out is this cost per circ, and I've been using it a little hesitantly because it's very similar to the Hoopla platform, where every circulation costs the library money. And it's really easy to open up that can of worms, and then all of a sudden your budget is just like, whoop, there it goes. So I've been really playing around, dipping my toe in to see how is it going to work. And some of the sessions that we had talked about how other libraries were using cost per serve. And I think I now have a much better idea to leverage this to make it work for our patrons. So we can have shorter wait times for books that might be popular and do it in a way where we're not going to have a huge budget surprise at the end of the month that I have a little hard to think about. So that was good to really get a better understanding of that cost per serve unit. And then the last thing that I realized in conversations with librarians from everywhere, we are extremely lucky to be connected to a consortium. We pay for that privilege, but the buying power of a large group together gives our patrons, right now I looked at Libby just a few minutes ago, and we have access to 103,000 titles that are available through Libby, audiobooks, downloadables. Other libraries who don't belong to consortiums, they have had to buy every single title that they offer. The patrons, they don't have the money to do it all, and their collections are just pretty limited. So we really are very lucky to be connected to a consortium. So, sometimes there's rules and regulations about when you can buy stuff, and there's a great benefit to that. So second of all, last of all, in conclusion, I think that's the appropriate way to put it. I want to thank the board for really emphasizing and prioritizing continuing education for the staff. It is an expense, but it does bring tangible rewards back to the library. So I think that I want to thank you for that support, and also for Laura. She's really emphasized and given the staff the opportunities to take trainings that we might not have utilized previously. So This conference for me was paid for, or will be paid for by the Library of Michigan. It was a grant that we received, so I'll be turning in the paperwork for that. So I think it probably isn't going to cost the library much anything, but I certainly learned a lot, and I do appreciate the time. So, thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions here?
I have one.
Sure.
You talked about AI policy. Did they have any examples that you
They
could take
did
with
not,
you?
they did not have any examples. I did write down, I believe, a couple of libraries that had AI policies, and I was meaning to track them down, but I haven't yet. But,
That would be good.
so if I can find anything for you, I will share that with you.
I need you to do something American.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, anybody's too Staff reports. Comments, questions? Should we start with you? Okay, go ahead, Jen.
This one is for Alyssa, where you were talking about, where is it? You've got notes. Anyway, my question is, do the tutors get paid?
Yes, so that is through a grant, the Lyricist Catalyst Fund. Shauna and I worked on that, and it ended up being for a total of close to $12,000. So the tutors are paid for 12 months. Our tutoring program is paid for 12 months.
So are they hired? Or
Yes, we did hire them. So I was fortunate enough to be able, we had tutoring, I don't know if you remember, a couple of years ago
Right.
through a different academy. It was called Eaton Academy. So like a third party, they had received a grant and chose us as a location, and they handled the hiring. I rehired one of our tutors that worked for them for those 2 years. So she has come back, and then we hired a second person who had applied for the shelving position that was much more qualified to be a tutor.
We hired them as presenters, so
Oh,
we did not
yes.
hire them as staff.
Okay. Okay. One other question. Years ago, many years ago, I was in a book club at Springfield Township Library. Is that White Lake Township Library? Is that the same library, or is there now where's
No,
White
there-
Lake Township Library? I've never heard of it.
It is brand new.
Is it
Pretty new, 50th, they're celebrating their 50th. But their building is brand new, it's
Oh.
gorgeous. I couldn't tell you, my
Oh.
GPS isn't there.
Springfield Township is Davisburg.
Right.
Yeah,
White Lake is further south.
And it's out 59.
yeah, like Highland area,
Okay.
out
Yeah, it's
that.
out.
Really?
I haven't been there, but I've
Oh,
seen
okay.
it.
It's a
out.
very nice, like,
Oh.
state-of-the-art library,
Really?
brand
Oh,
new
how
building,
nice.
yes.
Yeah.
It was
Their
great.
building was also designed by the same architecture firm that did this building. So, it's very,
Oh.
very interesting.
Very cool. I was glad to hear that there was another TAB meeting that started again. But that's all I have. Great reports, as always, busy, busy.
I think it was you, now I can't find it, but I was just, stupid question. What was tummy painting? Is that you?
Yeah,
I can't
that's
find
me.
it now, but when I read it earlier,
That's
I
like one
thought,
of
what
my
is tummy painting?
favorite, one of my favorite programs, yeah. It's for babies 3 months to 12 months old. And
Okay.
I put down the tablecloths that go on these tables. I put them all over on the floor, and we like paint inside Ziploc bags.
Okay.
And then I always do kind of like a memento type painting where they like put a handprint on a canvas or a footprint or, it's a lot of fun. It's one of my
It sounds like it. I just-
It's more chaos than anything, but.
Okay.
Kelly, did you have any?
I don't know.
Jen?
Just a thank you to all of the staff for continuing to fill out these reports. It's the best part of the meeting.
I love reading them.
And congratulations to Alyssa Taylor and Michael on their awards.
Thank you. Verna?
Again, just amazed when, this is my favorite part of getting my packet, is to sit down and read all of the things that are happening at the library. I'm constantly impressed with the staff really taking on new ways of doing things and coming up with all of these ideas and seeing not only results of the programming and that kind of thing, but just walking into this library, walking around, and it's such a calm yet creative place, and it's the staff, and really, thank you so much. And you for being there for
Well, all I can say is ditto. All of this. Yeah, I mean, this is so helpful to, I think, us as a board, because we, especially when we're working on budgets and policies and things like that, because we see how it impacts what goes on in the library. So it makes our job easier to have this background to it. And summer reading program was, again, amazing. I didn't turn in any, even though I read like every books,
I turned in several, and I thought I'd only turn in one, and they kept handing them to me.
but no, great program, and I'm excited to see what we'll be doing next year.
Next year's dinosaurs. We're all
They've
excited.
already picked the theme for next year.
Oh, they have like the next 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah.
How wonderful.
I mean, you had that job, wouldn't you?
When you say they, who's they?
CSLP, CS Collaborative Library Summer Program.
So does every library have the same thing?
For the most part.
Oh.
Some libraries choose to do their own thing, but for the most part, it's nationwide.
Okay, on to stats.
So Alyssa gave you a new stats sheet. We changed how we collected stats last month.
So wait a
and-
minute, is the new one the one with blue on it?
Yes.
Okay.
And we realized that they were not calculating them correctly. So the one with the blue square in the center, that is the correct sheet.
Okay.
Because I started looking at some of those numbers and I was like, this is way too low. So I knew we did better than that, so.
Yeah, I circled that one.
Yeah.
Like, wow. what
I started
happened?
circling, and I'm like, wait a minute. Something's not right here.
Okay.
So, 6
Anybody have any questions on this stats?
Just that I appreciate that they get done.
Yeah,
I'm
because
I'm a
we-
numbers person, but I love that, but I also love the staff reports that kind of expand on, gives you the background of how we got to those numbers.
Okay. Calendar review for September. We will be getting a strategic plan update. And this has start evaluation. That's a board evaluation. right?
Self-evaluation, yeah.
Yeah, not your evaluation.
No, mine's usually the first of the year.
Right. Okay.
So for those of us who are new on the board, can you tell us what that involves?
Well, we didn't do it last year because we had, so many new people. We basically have a questionnaire that we go through and we answer whether we think we're meeting certain goals and whether we think the board as a whole are meeting certain goals, that type of thing. So, and we'll get that out so everybody can start looking at it.
So we each fill it out individually?
Yes. And then they anonymously gather all the answers and then we review it and see what we need to change, improve, that kind of thing. And we come together and basically make plans for what we want to do going forward.
And 2 years ago, we had 3 points that we wanted to improve on. One was finances, another one was Robert's rules, and the third one was the third one? I don't remember. Oh, shit.
February.
Memory. Yeah, the third one, we put it off until we had the new board. You were there. It was in January. Who did we have come talk
Was
to
that
us?
when,
Oh.
Bowers came and?
Yes.
Director, board relations?
Director of Board Relations, that's what it was, yes. So we had 3 areas to work on. So after we do this year, and then the committee, who is me and Verna, when we review it, we will tally it and get it to Matt Shaw. And we'll come back with some ideas, and we'll talk about it as a board, but where we're going to go from there.
You need a committee?
Well, it was Verna and me. What do we want to do? Just
We'll
leave
have
it at that,
to,
or-
no, we'll have to reassign the
Okay.
committee. So if anyone is particularly interested, let me know, and we'll do that at our next meeting.
Do I have to be on it as vice president or not?
You don't have to.
Okay. I'm happy to let somebody else try it.
It's an interesting process to go through. I think Jan and I spent several hours talking about the role and the way we work together, that kind of thing. I found it educational. So it's a good process to go through.
I think you added it to your bylaws that the vice president has to do that.
Yeah, I think we did.
Or was that just for the director?
I don't remember.
We'll have to
look at it
review,
before the
yeah.
meeting, next meeting. But we will get that committee back
Good
into
catch.
operation.
Yeah.
And the questionnaire is done as a survey, so it goes through a survey system
Okay.
and gets calculated that way. And there's parts on it where you can make, besides just answering it, there's commentary parts, which is typically more important than some of the answers. That's a lot of times where we get the information where we need more training or need to change something we're doing.
Who would we send all these surveys to then? Good, okay.
Okay, anything else for September? Alright. Does anyone in our illustrious group here want to make public comment? No? You are the welcome.
What have we not already talked about?
Okay. We have nothing that's sitting on hold. And anybody have ideas for the next agenda, anything that we,
Do we want to
Alright, maybe
always
that's good.
keep 100th anniversary committee on the
Yes.
agenda?
yes,
Okay.
it was supposed to be put on this because we had approved it already.